I was just about to say this. Hello, I am a Q Savage, and if you're new, what it do? I hope you come part of the Q crew. It's free subscribe. We are talking about mentally self-aware, and we're going to get into this video. So, as y'all see in the title, we're talking about people pleasing, and I've seen a lot of videos about people pleasing, and this is something that I was already going to talk about anyway. And let's go ahead and get into the definition. So, a people pleaser is someone who has strong desire to please others, even at the expense of their own needs. And some of those characteristics is difficulty setting boundaries, fear of disappointing others, self-sacrifice, and some of those mental health conditions are and can lead to resentment, relationship burnout, and may associate with conditions also as depression and anxiety, which I totally understand these how they could come about. And one of the ones that I have run into is relationship burnout. And this is something that I had experienced with my ex that when I reflected, I was like, oh, this has to do with their childhood trauma that I didn't realize until later. And something that's not in this definition is avoiding conflict, which I didn't realize until I looked it up that avoiding conflict is also a people pleasing thing, and you would not see it unless you look it up. So avoiding conflict is a behavioral pattern where someone chooses not to confront or disagree with another person. Now I understand like avoiding conflict, not trying to be a bother, but my thing is I'm not a person that's not going to confront the issue or I'm very assertive and blunt and straightforward. So I'm going to tackle and be real and upfront with you. And I need someone to be like that with me because I don't see that is very productive if you're avoiding any type of conflict of any sort. And that's also something that I experienced with my ex is that type of behavior. And I was like, and the crazy part about it is I've coached a lot of people out of this type of behavior, avoiding conflict and people pleasing. At least two people when it came to being people pleasers to their children. And also one incident with a relationship that I coached someone out of within their relationship. And they knew, like within the relationship, they knew that the person wasn't consistent with the bills. They knew that this person was not helpful when it came to emotional. They knew that they were talking down to them, but they never wanted to confront them because they didn't want them to leave and they didn't want to be like a bother. And I'm just like, you said yourself that this person is not helpful and not useful. You are basically paying the bills all by yourself. So what is the point in even having them there? And I didn't realize I'm just sitting up there just giving this person my advice and ended up coaching them out of that situation. And they've been so much better ever since. That was like the aha moment they needed. And they are so much better, thriving, and have even been their own motivational speaker in their own realm of helping women do better within their life, within not going into certain behaviors and having certain behaviors and being an independent woman. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, like just not settling and not feeling like you not being alone is a bad thing. You know, just having a piece of man and not a whole man, which that's really basically not a man, just a little boy, is not worth being with. So back to conflict, avoiding conflict. It's unresolved issues and it's not productive, just like I said. And it's a physical intimacy. Interesting. Relationships avoid conflict can lead to decrease in physical intimacy. Interesting. Avoiding conflict can lead to resentment and large confrontation down the road. And that's another thing I never understood is that when you avoid conflict, all you're doing is making a whole bunch of elephants in the room that is never going to be addressed. So therefore, it's going to sit up there and just snowball and be an even bigger issue instead of you just addressing all of them when they came about. So, and that's what I mean by people pleasing because they don't want to have any conflict, then they're trying to please the person without actually addressing what the conflict is. And within the people that I referred to that I coached out of when it came to their children, they are grown adults and they weren't paying any bills, and they felt like they were entitled and obligated not to help. Now, the economy is really bad right now. A lot of parents and a lot of people have been struggling. And this is something before we're struggling, that children think that a parent is entitled. I don't know what's up with Gen Z, but they feel like they're entitled to not do certain things. Now, when you're an adult, you should be, moving your own weight, and you should be assisting with bills. And I understand if you don't need any assistance, that's one thing, because I was raised, my mom didn't need any assistance. She didn't want it. And I was very, I saved up my money and things like that. I helped around the house, but financial wise, she told me that she didn't need it. But if she did need or need me to help with any type of utility bill, I would do that. But there's actual kids out here that won't have been not alone offer, but when they are asked to do it, not be consistent and pay and feel like they're not obligated. Now, I do understand there is some parents out there allow you to sit up there and pay for everything and take complete advantage of you to the point where you can't even move out. Now, I understand that. I have seen and grew up with friends that had to go through that bull crap. That's messed up. But if they tell you to take care of at least one or two of the utility bills, that's not going to break you. It's not. And especially if they're just asking for one. Or even to go half on the rent and then they take care of everything else. Rent, I feel like that is a big obligation, especially when rent is now. I would prefer to take all the utilities, but then because I'm saving up to still move out eventually, right? So if they don't want to have any conflict or any issues, so you're allowing this grown adult in your house to freeload. And this is another thing that it will teach them responsibility before they move out and then they be back in your household again, because they don't want to sit up here and pay that bill. And then they end up never moving out in the first place because they're just sitting there freeloading and not being financially savvy with their money anyway. So them holding some money back and take care of the bill does not hurt. I would not even have my child sit there and not do that. And my thought process was that if I was able to take care of everything myself, but I have a grown adult in the house, I would tell them to pay a bill. If they're like in their early 20s, never moved out or anything like that, I have them pay a bill, but put that money aside, maybe for a down payment for their apartment, or put money aside just for them to save, to make sure that they're doing their money saving thing in case they fail. And be like, okay, and show them a lesson that way is my thought process. So, anywho, with all that being said, let's talk about other people that have spoke on people pleasing and how it should go, because they're just basically backing up the same thing I just discussed.
Tell you about being a people pleaser or winning recovery is that people pleasers are very, very angry. They put on this facade of never getting angry, but the one who never gets angry is actually the one that you need to worry about. They actually carry more anger than the rest of the people because, see, someone who's not a people pleaser, they've already expressed everything they're upset about. Everything that they have to say, they've already said it, and they have said it to the person they need to say it to. But a people pleaser, they don't say anything. And because they don't say anything, they don't get to ever put it down. They have to carry that. It's like carrying heavy cans on a backpack with only one strap. It's heavy. And the thing is, no one can sustain that kind of weight forever. So what ends up happening is when that one thing happens, that one straw that breaks the camel's back happens, a people pleaser's anger will leak everywhere. It's like
Here we go with someone bleeding on other people. So with that being said, I've run into this before where the person I would have an issue. Then they would project and say, well, you have this issue too. Like, you do this. And then you never discussed or ever said that you ever had a problem with this. So why would you wait for me to say something and then now want to have a problem? Or just like she was saying, avoiding conflict, not expressing what you are having issue with, and then getting mad later that the other person is getting what they want or what they need because they asked for it. Closed mouths don't get fed. And then because you are the person that don't open your mouth and always people pleasing, you're up here mad. Make it make sense. I have seen this several times aside in my own relationship with the ex. It's happened plenty of times. And I immediately address and call it out. Stop doing this. You have to really self-reflect and know when you are not doing your own self-justice by being a people pleaser.
When you're getting takeout from a restaurant and the container cracks open and then the oils is just leaking all over the bag, and then you don't realize that there's a mess until you've already gotten home and you're like, oh crap, now I gotta deal with it. And how it translates in the real world is a people pleaser gets angry over something seemingly small, but it's kind of like makes it everybody else's problem in the sense that they come off like they're making a mountain out of a molehill, but that's not what it is. Because see, they're not just angry about that little thing that people can't understand why they're mad at. They're angry at every previous thing that they're mad at, but they never got to express. And that could be years and years worth of stuff.
I'm shocked she said that because yes, that's exactly what I called out on that ex. I was like, I started to realize that was a pattern of the person getting mad of things that you shouldn't be mad at. I started to come big on, earth sign. We analyze the heck out you. So I'm sitting here analyzing this person. I'm like, they're like, you're mad at this, but I know dang well there's something deeper that you're really mad at that you haven't expressed. And I just wasn't going to be putting up with this type of behavior. Like you are caught, like it started to, and then it goes into self-sabotage. Like so many things are trickling and falling into each other. And the reason why I'm talking about this is that if you see yourself being this person, you got to do some self-healing. You're going to have to really look at where it started and go back and help yourself fix it. In order to do that, you're going to have to heal your childhood trauma by reparenting yourself from where it started, because this person came from childhood trauma. So when she said that, I remember the incident of when I clocked it, and I'm like, you keep doing this, and I'm not going to fall for it.
So, people pleasers, I'm going to hold your hand while I say this, and then I'm going to burst that little bubble. Please stop. Please, just lean into your anger. Lean into it in a measured and mature way. Expressing your anger in a controlled way is a skill that's underdeveloped in people pleasers. You gotta develop that skill. But come on, lean into your anger. You're better off leaning into it than doing this thing where you hide just to keep it. You cannot hide forever, and once you decide to stop hiding, what's likely gonna happen is you're gonna become bitter. Everyone else is not doing.
I was just about to say this, but I'm like, no, I'll hold it. So she said that they would turn bitter. So she also said about how there were years into, like it'll be years ago when they spoke about this, exactly what happened. They spoke on it and they were talking about something that was years ago. Why are you bringing that up? And then it turns into bitterness, and then it trickles into a relationship and just messes it all up. And I'm not just talking about romantic relationships, I'm talking about friendships too. I'm talking about any relationship. Like this is not proper behavior. You have to feel your emotions, like she said, and let them properly process. When you don't, this is what causes mental issues. It's when you don't address and let your emotions properly process when things happen or need to be addressed then and there.
The same thing as you, where they're just hiding their anger and holding stuff in. And sadly, as unfair as it seems, the people who let out their anger, they actually have better mental health than you, chances are. That holding in anger stuff, that leads to just bitterness and ruminating, and that stuff leads to depression. You and your loved ones and everyone around you deserve a happier you than that. There is not an award for suffering. There is not an award for martyrdom. That's something that I have to learn the hard way, something I want to tell you so that you can learn the easy way. Commit to doing the work of deconditioning yourself from this. There is a better, happier, more honest life out there, but you have to want it and you have to claim it. No one's going to give it to you.
Period. That is so true. That is so very true. So let's get into another one.
Stop making yourself available to those who don't make time for you. And stop running back to those who keep hurting you. And don't be afraid to start over again.
So she's going to say this over again. I have run into this so many times talking to people about stop going back. I don't care who they are, whether they are your mother, your daddy, your child. Like there is a boundary at a certain time where you need to let certain things go. And when they show you who they are, you're going to have to leave them to their devices because it's not your problem. Either stop being responsible for these you problems. Leave these folks alone because then they starting to mess with your peace and your mental, and you deserve that. Stop going back to the people. I don't care who they are. Family, blood, not. I don't care. Here's another one.
Might get me ate up. This might get a little bit of pushback, but I don't like people pleasers. I don't like them around me. You're the worst type of friend. You're the worst type of partner. You're the worst type of company, period. And that's because you are the worst type of person to yourself. You go against every single boundary, every single character trait. You go against everything about yourself to make other people feel comfortable. If there's a bitch talking shit about me in the next room, you're not going to stand up for me because you don't even stand up for your motherfucking self. You're not going to defend my name. You're not defending your name. And you don't care about your name. And if you don't care about yourself, then you don't care about me. And with that being said,
that is so true. Like I have always been an advocate for myself, and I have always not played about my family, my mother, my child, like my significant other. I don't play about them. None of my friends that I don't play about them, and they will tell you that I don't, and they are the same about me. Now, one thing that I have started to do, even though I advocated and defended myself, is that I don't play about myself neither. I was like, I don't go as strong as I do for other people as I should be going just as hard for my damn self. You know how they say I don't play about my kids? I don't play about me just as hard. And I was like, I need to stand 10 toes down on that one. And I do now. But I have ran into people that will not advocate for you that should. That's one thing that women have always said, that they really love when their man is a protector, that they will come behind and protect you and have your back. And a lot of men don't seem to want to have your back like that. Now I understand I don't have back on people that, they really on showed out. And it's like, now you're just being embarrassed and I can't back you up on this one. I'm not talking about things like that. But I'm talking about trust and loyalty in your person, to know that they wouldn't be standing or advocating for themselves this hard if it wasn't something that they were actually being legit about. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't have someone that's like that, that may not be a good partner, your life partner. You know what I'm saying? So it's just something to think about. If you cannot, like, you're in a relationship, you've been with this person 5+ years, they're your fiance, whatever, and you don't see yourself like in a hospital bed and them being loyal to you and take care of you and all your assets of why you're being sick, that's something to think about. Like, dang, I don't think they can take care of me medically. You got to think of stuff like that, because that says a lot about their character versus what you really set yourself up for. If you didn't sign up for that, don't sign up.
I only like solid people around me. People who stand on 10 about me and about themselves. And that shows in every single way. It shows 100% when you are a people pleaser. And I don't know if people feel good about that, when people compliment them all the time and always trying to say, yes, yes. I hate that shit. I need people around me who know more than me, who are not scared to correct me, who are not scared to put me in my motherfucking place when I'm wrong, because I'm going to do the same for you. Stop making yourself smaller to make everybody else comfortable. Stop going around losing yourself and other people just because you're too scared to face who you are and to be 100% yourself. I need you to be around people who 100% align with your values so that you can always be yourself 100% of the time. Once you understand that being a people pleaser makes you a fucking terrible person, you'll understand that it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to learn yourself, and it's okay to stand on 10 behind the things that you like. Everybody is not going to like you. I promise you that. And once I learned that and I really took that in, I understood that nothing could stop me from there. People don't like Beyonce. People don't like Nicki Minaj. Like, it's all, no matter what you do, somebody's not going to fucking like you. It don't fucking matter.
That's facts. You don't have to do much. You can just blink if someone don't like you for no goddamn reason. It's always boiled down to jealousy or just a straight up BS. And that's because their morals and their values and their ethics does not line up with yours. Like, do not and that's so facts about that. I have learned that I need to have friends that are people that's around me that have the same morals and values, especially within your relationship, of course, with your life partner, because that you're gonna have conflict. And then, like, when she said someone smarter, like, I would like to have someone that has the same intellect. Someone said in threads recently about, I didn't realize about being with someone that has the same degree. I really didn't pay attention to stuff like that. I take you for face value for who you are. I do not judge. I'm not like that. And when someone doesn't have certain things, I'm just like, then I'll fill in that hole for you. That's just how I've been. But I have reevaluated. And I'm like, what would it be like to have someone who has the same degree as I do? Because then they'll have that same level of education, has gone through that, and it will be a different level of understanding and comprehension for where we can build further from. And that's not a diss to anybody, but when you've gone to college and had that higher education, no one bashes down about college. It does elevate you and give you more educational know-how. You'll bash about grade school and about high school, but no one bashes about college because it really does teach you way more than where you started. And I have always known that. And that's always something that you have to evaluate and think of as well. But I have learned that people that don't have your same moral values and ethics and things like that, or have that integrity, the same that you would have, they always seem to think that you are like that doesn't have that same moral. Like, I'm not a person that gets jealous. But if you get jealous of me, and then, because that's how you move, you think I move the same way. I already told you and showed you that I'm not that type of person, but you still projecting that bullshit on me. And that's where you got me effed up. And that's something that I had to learn. Like, oh, wow, like, that's messed up. Like, I don't deserve that. So I don't deserve to be around someone who would think that of me. And I have learned and realized that it's because they don't have the same morals and integrity that you have. Like, you're going to run into a conflict, and it seems like the person that is on the lighter half is going to get the BS. Just a food for thought.
The people who align with you and the people who are meant to be around you are going to like you, and those are the people that you surround yourself with. But don't make yourself smaller just because you want this person to like you, and this person to like you, and this person to like you, and this person to like you. Thumbs down. Absolutely not. A friend to all is a friend to none. And to my people pleasers following me, I don't want you to go hate yourself after this and be like, oh my God, what can I do better? The only thing that you can do better is start loving yourself and stop hating yourself. Don't let a video of me saying that I don't like you or this character trait that you have make you not like yourself even more. You are amazing the way that you are, and I want you to go take some time to go figure out who she is and go love her. But stop loving everybody else around you more than you love yourself, because you neglect yourself every single day you do that. I love you. Bye.
Facts. And that's my thing. Like everyone, just like I say at the end of my videos, you're beautifully wonderfully made. And when you've gone through trauma, when you've gone through you have any type of mental issues, it's just a matter of you learning how to deal with that properly, heal that, and become the best person that you're supposed to be before that trauma or any of that occurred. And for you to not ignore it, because you won't be the person that you're supposed to be, of light, not of dark. And we're going to go to one more. And this one made me like, ooh, I feel like attacked a little bit. You know what I mean? And I wonder if you guys feel this way too on this one.
Unhealed childhood trauma manifests itself as fixing others, people-pleasing, codependency, external validation needed, living on high alert, fear of abandonment, deprioritizing your own needs, need to prove themselves, tolerates abusive behavior, attracts narcissistic partners, and or difficulty setting boundaries.
Mine was, let me go back because I can't remember. High alert. And that's one that took extremely long time for me to realize I need to just let go. It's okay. Because I had to have the last word in. You're going to hear it. And I'll be thinking about the way I should have shut it down hours later when the incident happened. I was like, you don't have to be on guard like that anymore. It's okay. Because when you do need it, it will be available. And that's what I had to tell myself. For any other people that had that anger management, like me. Okay. And also, I was around a very racist city that I grew up in. So I was always on high alert, looking behind me, like all that stuff. What you're supposed to do anyway, but it was a different type of level. And then when I wasn't in that environment anymore, and I'm older, I'm like, I'm not in school. I don't have to be around these type of people, forced around these type of people. It's okay. I was able to put my guard down in that type of way without having to be on alert like that. And the city has gotten better, but racism ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I did low key not prioritize my needs at times for others. Now, I've definitely done that before. Now, attracting toxic people, that's something that's new for me that I have recently I've looked into. And I feel like you really have to self-reflect on why you attract certain people. And I know spiritually why I do, but also I had to think of personally, possibly why I do. And when you are moving in a different way where you have healed those certain areas, you won't attract that type of behavior anymore. So you thinking negative, or you thinking that you always run into this, so you're always going to have that. You thinking like that and moving like that, that's why you're attracting that. You have to pay attention to what you possibly are putting in the universe to attract to yourself. That's something I have recently have self-reflected on, and I was like, well, I know that that's going to stop here because I have matured. I'm different than the way I used to be, so I shouldn't attract those type of people in this manner. You know what I'm saying? In this type of way. So yeah. Also because I didn't judge and I just accepted for who you are. That is the end of these videos. That was the one I wanted to end on. What do you guys think? I hope this was informative and that it helped you. I was going to post a different video, but it's like, no, I'm going to post this one because I've seen it a lot. It happened a lot recently. So I was like, let me just go ahead and put in some pieces on this myself about it, because mentally self-aware is what this channel is about. So I have another video that's coming next, and it's going to be on victim. Yeah, I got to gather my things. I'm not ready to record it right after this one, and I wish I would. But stay tuned for that. I'll see you guys on the next video. Remember, you guys, you're beautifully, wonderfully made. Only you can make that change. I'll see you guys on the next video.